Hello and welcome to my channel and welcome to this video where we are channeling our inner ballet dancers, our ballerina. And because it's winter, we're also going to be snow bunnies. So remember that video that I did recently about how to create a snow bunny, snow princessy kind of look? We're gonna do kind of the same thing but tweak it to be a little bit more elegant. Maybe focus a little bit more on the sparkle and not necessarily the bright colors. I think we're gonna have fun with this. And to complete the idea, we're not gonna do just makeup, we're also gonna do jewelry, hair, outfit, bags, shoes, everything. We're gonna create our ballerina snow bunny look. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you and you like fashion or makeup content, then please consider subscribing because that's what I do over here. And now let's get started. So we're gonna start with makeup and I'm gonna need to have all of this out of my head for a second, but we're gonna do it in style. So I actually have this headband. I've had this for the longest time. I remember actually, I used to be a ballet dancer in high school and I actually wore this to one of my recitals, but it was so excruciatingly tight behind the ears that I don't think I actually wore it. I just bought it for the performance, but it's gonna do fine for just a little bit to keep my hair out of my face. And this video is honestly just an excuse for me to do a nice makeup video with a theme and explore the things that I still have at home, because as some of you may know, I live in Belgium at the moment, but I'm home for a week. And I've been taking advantage of that. So I'm wearing all my favorite shoes, well, the ones I didn't take with me. I'm trying out all of the lipsticks. You know, I'm supposed to also do a closet clean out, but we'll see if we'll get to that. Yeah, so anyway, just an excuse to pull out some pretty makeup and also just as a little bit of inspiration, maybe. I've actually been watching the videos of Maria Draganova. She is a fashion blogger, I suppose, vlogger, and I've been mesmerized by her eyeshadow. It's just, she does this sort of kind of old school kind of makeup where she puts on a lot, but then she has the most sparkly eyeshadow and it really pops against the matte foundation. Not sure if I'm going to do the matte foundation, but I do know which eyeshadow I will use. I've actually selected a couple. The star of the show will be Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction, Mothership number 5. You would think I would choose one of the Divine Roses, but actually, in this palette, there is this beautiful rose gold shade. There it is, this one. And ever since I saw Maria wear this type of shade in her videos, I've been thinking about this palette and I've been wanting to use it. But I find that the matte shades, even though they're stunning and they create beautiful looks, are a little bit dramatic. So I pulled out a classic, another classic, Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. Oh, this is the palette of Pops. See, this is what happens when you move and you live in 2 houses. So actually my Pillow Talk regular palette is back in Belgium. So we're gonna do it differently. We're gonna take the Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty and we're gonna use some mattes out of this one, which will work just fine. And the beauty of this is that it also goes a little bit deeper in case you're watching and you actually have a lot deeper skin tone than I do. Okay, so please don't be alarmed by this brush. I'm wiping it up, I swear, but it actually has a little bit of green left over on it. I so desperately need my things to be organized again and find the rest of my brushes because I think they're in Belgium. We're gonna go into Radiate, which is arguably the most boring shade in this palette, but for me and my pale skin, it's going to be the perfect transition. I'm just putting this pretty sloppily all around my eyes. It's okay because we're doing eyes first. And I'm taking it out pretty far. Because at this point it might look a little bit dark, but I think once I've added some deepening shades, we're gonna need this space. And this is what Maria did in her look, so I'm just here to replicate. Alright, now we're gonna warm it up a tad by using Gratitude. This is just a little bit deeper. It might even be deep enough, but we'll see. I'm putting this a little bit closer to my eye, definitely in the outer corner, taking it a little bit in the underside of the outer corner, but not nearly as much. And then the tiny bit of depth, I am going in with Aura, which is this chocolatey brown, just a little bit on the tip of my brush. And just in the outer corner, only on the upper side of my eye. Oh, these shades are so pretty. I know I love my blues and my greens and all the multichromes, but I gotta say, with my skin tone and my color eye, this type of burgundy, browny, neutral, it just looks really good. Alright, that's it for the mattes. Now I'm going into the Pat McGrath palette. So just another quick reminder, this is what it looks like, and we're just gonna go straight into this shade. This is one of those baked glittery shades, the special shades. It is a true rose gold. And this is a pretty basic move, but we're gonna put it all over the lid. And then once it's all there, I just dab a little bit all over my eye, also over the mattes. You could not do that, and then you have a little bit more depth, but I just love the way the whole lid sparkles when you do it like this. I don't know if you can see how beautiful that is, but this is really pretty. I think all the other shades in here are not quite right. They're too yellow. So that's actually it for the Pat McGrath for today. I will add an inner corner, maybe a brow bone, some traditional details, but we'll do that when the face makeup is done. I'm just gonna take a makeup wipe, clean up really well underneath the eyes, and then without taking away too much, I am going to make a line here, and I'll soften that once the foundation is on. I have two options for the lower lash line. I could go with one of my favorites. This is a matte pastel pink, which really pops and it's really pretty. Or I could go with this white pearly kind of shade, and I kind of want to see what that would look like. Because I feel like the eyes are now very much ballet, and this will bring in a little bit more of that frost bunny. Yeah, I like that. Then I'm taking my regular black mascara. This is the Lash Without Limits from Essence. You can use any mascara. I will add some fake lashes. Now I did select a pair of lashes because I thought they would fit the theme, but they're a little bit dramatic. What do we think? They're the Minnie Mouse lashes from their collaboration with Makeup Revolution, and I have worn these a handful of times. And sometimes I really loved it, and sometimes I thought it was a little bit much. But since we're not doing too much with the eyeshadow, but enough, I feel like it could work. If it looks ugly, I'll just rip them off and put on something else. And while the glue is drying on the lashes, I'll do a couple of little tweaks because the lashes are so big. I'm gonna take my black pencil and line the upper waterline with that. And you know what? I'm also going to do the little wing. Alright, let's see what these lashes are made of. Okay, this is them on. I actually like this. I think with the whole liner glitter situation, it looks kind of appropriate. And this is definitely different than the snow bunny look that I did, or the snow princess, I don't know what it was called. Because it's much more stage inspired. I didn't think I would go there, but it definitely went there. I think that's just the thing with Pat McGrath though. Once you go for the Pat McGrath glitters, you kind of have to go all out. And I do think this is done in a nice way, if I say so myself. So now let's do some face makeup to match this. And since I am just playing around with what I have and not relying on the pretty boring old makeup bag that I created, which you know is perfect, but it's getting a little bit boring. There will be a Shop My Stash later this week. So I dug up this little thing. This is the Revolution color corrector, the dual-sided one. And I remember this yellow one being pretty good at correcting darkness underneath the eyes. You just don't want to use too much. So I think I'm really just gonna do that. And maybe A little bit around the mouth, but not too much. And then I'm also gonna use the green side and correct the redness on my nose and my cheeks. And I'm just gonna use my fingers because I don't really have a brush that would work with this. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this as a color corrector. It's very thick. It's almost like real paint, and it also does not look good on its own. I honestly thought it was a little bit better than this. This is basically unusable. I hope the foundation will cover this up well enough. I do think it did what it was supposed to do. Definitely the green one is very effective, but this yellow tint is just way too strong. So this may not be going in the Shop My Stash. But it's okay, because I actually chose a foundation that's medium to high coverage. This is the Terracotta Le Teint. This was my favorite for a little while, until I just stopped using foundation for a little bit. So I thought we'd go back into it. It's a luminous matte, like it's more matte, but there's a slight bit of luminosity in it. It's, like I said, sort of medium coverage, and the shade match is really good for me. So I have the shade 0.5W, and I like the idea of this because it's not too shiny, and I think with the shiny eyes, I think that's going to be pretty. Trying not to go overboard with how much I use. Oh, that's right, this had a beautiful smell. Smells like the beach, which is not appropriate for the theme, but it is very much appreciated. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It looks a little bit more radiant right now. Maybe it is actually a bit more radiant than I remembered. I know I tested this in my very glowy period, and this may have seemed a little bit more semi-matte, but I think there's more radiance to it than I remembered. Either way, I love this. I knew I loved this foundation. I'm so happy to be wearing it again. And it did cover up the yellowness pretty well. I think it looks good. I really think the Huda color corrector does a lot more for dark circles and stuff like that. And it blends out like a dream. So I would definitely recommend that one, but hey, we're using what we have. For concealer, I wanted to go with old favorite of mine. This is the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury. You don't want to use too much of this one because it will crease, but if you don't use too much, it does look really beautiful. I have this in the shade 1 Fair. I don't think this comes in a lot of undertones, but it's really good. I think this is the concealer equivalent of the foundation that we used. It's a little bit glowy. It's medium to high coverage, depending on how much you use. This was my go-to concealer for a little while. It's starting to look really good. I personally think so. Now I'm thinking powder product mainly for the rest of my face. I was thinking about doing a little bit of contour. I just don't really like it with my face shape. We're gonna do bronzer, and I have a pretty cool tone bronzer, so it's fine. So let's set the face. Okay, I wanted to say I would love to use my pink powder, but anyway, a loose powder is best. And we're gonna use this one. This is my Christian Dior Cushion powder. And this is actually a really good one. The only reason I don't use it every day right now is because I didn't take it with me to Belgium. So it comes like this. It comes with a little puff. I used to think that the powder that came out of this wasn't light enough, but now that I don't really like the super bright under eyes anymore, this is actually the perfect shade. And it's one of those powders, it's actually kind of similar to the Huda Beauty one, where it does make you matte, but it doesn't really make you look dry. I like it. It does make you a little bit matte, but in a pretty way. And this actually makes your skin feel really soft. It's really nice. For bronzer, I picked out my Glowish one by Huda Beauty. This is a little bit of a tricky product. It's very tightly pressed, but once you get it on a brush, it's really pretty. It has a little bit of a sheen, which is something we can use when we're using all powder products. So I'm taking a pretty dense brush, and this is in the lightest shade. It's number 1 light. And the beauty of this one, and why I chose it for today, it doesn't really seem that way when you look at it in the pen, or maybe it does to you, but this actually has a slight rosy undertone. It's quite similar to the undertone of the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, except that this one is a little bit more subtle and has a slight sheen to it. But I really like that undertone for when I do a little bit more full look, where I maybe want to sculpt out my cheeks a little bit more without using actual, called again, contour. But this is like a bronzer, contour and bronzer in one. This is making me look quite sun-tanned. For blush, I want to go with this one. This is Cherry. Is it? No, Rosewood, sorry, from Dior, from the Dior Backstage line. I think it's just the perfect shade of pink for this look. You don't need to use that much of this. And I'm actually putting it a little bit more towards the cheeks. Not too low, of course, but a little bit lower than I have been doing lately. I am going to connect it to the eyeshadow a little bit. I honestly thought I would be using Cherry for this look, but I kind of like Rosewood. Now I want to try something. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Palette of Puffs, which I do love, and I'm going to use it for my inner corner now. But I also want to use it as a face highlight and see how that works. I've been using this particular shade a lot as a face highlight, and I want to give it a break. But we're going to stay with Charlotte Tilbury. And I do remember these getting hard pressed, but we're gonna make it work. So I'm gonna try and see if this shade, this pink, it does pick up on the brush. If it's light enough for me as a highlight. I think it is. I like the rosy tone. It is glittery though. I still love a glittery highlight. I actually prefer glitter over color. I like it to be a little bit sheer and then very glittery. A little bit on my nose. Yes, that's perfect. And then with a little brush, plot twist, I'm going to take the cream color. I think this is a little bit lighter and it will work better as an inner corner. And it's still a cream with a slightly rosy undertone. So I'm really blending it into that Pat McGrath. And I'm also putting it underneath the lower lash line. The hard pressed really isn't much of an issue. If you have a dense enough brush, you can just go right through. And then with the same brush, I'm going to add just a little bit more dimension. I'm going to take this coppery shade and put it on the outer side of my lower lashes. Okay, I really like this. This always happens. I do a more neutral, oh, that's bad. I do a more neutral look and I fall in love with neutrals all over again. Okay, we do need a lip. I think we're gonna go with one of my favorite nude combinations. This is Glam Light from the Frosted Flakes collab. My perfect rosy nude in a light shade. And I'm overlining just a little bit. And now I feel like the look may need a little pop, but I also really like this. This is the shade Gold Dust. It's all rubbed off, but I know it is. From Essence. And it's just such a pretty nude gloss. Yeah, I think this is the right balance because it's so light now. And that's the finished makeup look. I really like it. This honestly, if I was skilled enough at makeup when I was still a ballet dancer, I would do this for my performances for sure. I don't think it's quite dramatic enough for actual stage makeup, but it is hinting towards it. And I really like it. I think it looks really good. So I know this is mostly a makeup tutorial, but now we're gonna do hair and clothes as well. So I figured it would be kind of fun to do some sort of bun. I'm gonna leave out my little strands. Or should we do the pigtails? No, I think we should do little buns. I'm gonna use these hair ties that I got for Christmas. Okay, this is not working out. I'm gonna do the pigtails after all. I think I did the same hairstyle last time, but I do really like it. I think it's gonna go with the look that I have in mind. Except I'm gonna pin away the little hair thingies that I have. I just think it's not very dancer-like to have those. It's a little bit too cutesy, I think. I am going to leave the regular bangs. I do like those. So now let's do an outfit. I'm actually already wearing sort of the same outfit because it's what inspired this video, but we're gonna make it a full outfit. So I actually already have on the skirt, which I'm going to pair with my favorite fluffy little sweater. And then I have on some sheer tights as well as some fluffy socks. And then I'm going to put on my ballet flats. Of course, what other choice do I have? And I know this is a very literal interpretation, but I do really like it. I love the Miu Miu version. I'm saying this in my OOTD as well because I wore this outfit to work today. But it works for the video too, so it's fine. I think the fluffy wool socks with these shoes is just so fun. So I did actually pick up a little something in Belgium when my mom came to visit. And I think they're going to be perfect for today's look. So there are these earrings. Oh, they look even better in the lighting. They're from Jutka and Riska, which is a combination, it's sort of a concept store. It's a combination of vintage, general secondhand, and new stock. And you honestly don't know what you get. It's not really, it doesn't say anywhere. It could be anything, but it's all cute. So it's a great store. And these are some amazing earrings, and this is their debut. What do you think? I think these earrings finish up the outfit completely. And then the last touch that we need is a bag and maybe a coat. I do have a very good coat for this look. I actually have this fake fur in this beautiful taupey color that really matches all the creams and the pinks very well. Then I have my fluffy cream bag, which could fit all my essentials, all my makeup, all my shoes, all my leg warmers. And this is how I would style my ballet dancer winter dream outfit. Yeah, this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun playing dress up. I don't know if it's exactly the theme, but that was never the point. The point was to get myself and hopefully you guys inspired. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.